Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. Are you someone who finds it difficult communicating his or her ideas? Or do you feel invincible when you are among group of people, group of friends or family members? Or maybe someone struggling to keep a 2 minute conversation going? Welcome. As in this video, I will be sharing with you how this book, no, this, which way, this, how this book helped me to communicate with people even as an introvert. And maybe at the end of this video, I will share with you some biblical connections on how you can better improve on your communications. So, many years back, whenever I was among group of people, friends, or maybe family members, I would always just see watching how everyone had a good time, how everyone talked, laughed, and had fun. And I would just, one question that, how do people really just communicate or just flow with people? And whenever I would try, to maybe start a conversation or something, I would overthink it and I felt forced, and that's how I would just let it be. And maybe reading this book, I realized that it's not like introverts don't really like people. It's because they don't know how to connect. So let me know in the chat if you've ever been in this situation and what did you do. That is the reason we don't really know how to connect. So this book really helped me in improving on my conversation. So one thing Carnegie mentioned in this book was when he said, be genuinely interested in people, find out what interests people, and talk in favor of what interests them without mentioning yourself. This got me thinking, reflecting on how, whenever I try to reflect on my communications when I was among people, and it made me realize that if I'm among a group of people, if I find out that what they're talking about doesn't interest me, I turn to my phone, and that is it. And so, if you're someone struggling with some of this question I mentioned, you want to start by being genuinely interested in what people have to say and find out what interests them and talk in response to what interests them. And the second thing I want to talk about is when Carnegie said, when listening to someone, listen not just to, especially when you have a lot to talk about. You're just listening and not actually you're listening to understand what you're saying, but you're listening just to respond to them. And I realize that if you genuinely listen in people, you will have a lot of follow-up questions to ask them, which is actually going to keep the conversation going for as long as you want. And for someone who finds it difficult keeping a 2 minute conversation going, you want to start by being genuinely interested in people, and also you want to be a good listener. Listen to understand what they are saying, and also not just listening to respond. And for you who finds it difficult communicating his or her ideas, this helped me as and for you who finds it difficult communicating his or her ideas, this is where I mentioned where I will be talking on some biblical connection, and it really made me realize how some of these great men in the Bible, and because I don't want this video to be long, I will share just two scenarios in the Bible where I found how some of these great men used some of the principles Carnegie mentioned. Firstly, so Nehemiah was so worried, and he was when he heard this information, he was like, what am I going to tell the king about this? How can I even start by obtaining permission from the king? He was so worried and upset that the king had to, realize. And the king was like, Nehemiah, why is your face this dull? You're not even sick. And Nehemiah's response was what really caught my attention. He started by giving sincere appreciation to the king before tabling his requests. And this is something we should really look into it, because in our day-to-day life, how we associate with our boss, with people, many of us, and this led me to the next thing Carnegie mentioned in his book: give sincere appreciation, no flattery. Yeah, no flattering. And you might, you might be someone who, maybe really need to put across your ideas. You might want to start appreciating whosoever you'll be talking to. Find out one thing that person really did and appreciate that person for it, you know, before telling your ideas. And also, we can see this when Queen Esther, she was also in a period in her life where she needed so badly to stop a decree that would terminate her fellow people, and she didn't also know how to go about it. And even when the king opted, Queen Esther, just tell me what is it, and I'm going to give you half of my kingdom. Oh my God. Who wanna hear this? Just put yourself in Queen Esther's situation. You really have something that is really troubling you. And you have this one person that when you mention this thing to, the person is going to solve your problem. And you finally got the opportunity for that person to ask you. I'm sure we will not wait for a second to, burst out everything. Why am I bringing this situation to you? Because we really have to work on our conversation on how we can get people to do what we wanted. Please, this is not manipulation, and that's why you must be able to give sincere appreciation, because human beings love to be honored. People love to be respected, and people love to be honored. And Queen Esther did not, start by, oh king, you cannot imagine, Haman did. No, she started by giving sincere appreciation before she could even voice out what she really wanted. So if you're someone, you might really want to invest in this, in you might really want to invest in this to better improve your communication, as this has really really transformed me, the way I talk, the way I listen to people, and how to win friends and influence people. So this book didn't just teach me how to talk. This book taught me how to see conversation not just as a skill to master. It taught me how to genuinely love people, how to care for people, how to listen and connect with people. And in today's noisy world, this might be one of the most greatest influence you can have on anyone. And if you found this video in, and if you found this video interesting, you might want to watch this one as well. Bye.